Leonardo da Vinci was born on the 15th of April, 1452, at Anciano, Italy. Being born out of wedlock, he was considered an illegitimate child. As an illegitimate child, Da Vinci was forbidden to join the family business, which was very respectable and could have given him a safe and predictable future. Because Da Vinci couldn't enjoy his father's inheritance, he had to turn to the world of uncertainty, trying, learning, exploring till he became known as a genius in painting, drawing, sculpting, science, engineering, architecture, and anatomy. At the end of the day, the situation that was supposed to destroy Leonardo da Vinci's life was what made his life exceptionally successful. You see, Steve Jobs said, and I quote, "Sometimes life is going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. Sometimes life is going to treat you badly. Don't lose faith. Sometimes you'll feel like you're unfortunate. Don't lose faith. Sometimes you'll feel like everything is working against you. Don't lose faith." One of the biggest problems in this generation is that too many young people expect life to be smooth and easy. Because these people have wrong expectations, when something goes wrong in their lives, instead of following the advice of who moved my cheese, they look for who to blame. The question of life is not whether or not life is going to hit you in the head. The question is, how would you react when life seems totally unfair? Sometimes life is going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. My childhood pains. I was born in 1986 with a sickle cell disease. To make my situation worse, my literate parents didn't know there was anything like sickle cell, so I was never taken to a hospital for diagnosis until I was 14. Needless to say, I spent all my childhood praying for death. I hated every day I spent suffering. I hated life because it was full of pains for me. To make matters worse, after I knew what sickle cell meant, I hated my father who ought not to have married my mother. But you see, you would never achieve anything meaningful in life until you get to a point when you are ready to take responsibility for your life. Sometimes life is going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. Stand up. Stand tall. Stop pitying yourself, because until you stop crying, you won't ever know that you have the capacity to overcome your pains. Jodi Picoult said, and I quote, "The human capacity for burden is like bamboo, far more flexible than you'd ever believe at first glance. You have the capacity to overcome your adversity, even though it might not seem so right now." Listen, when in 1921 the 39-year-old Franklin D. Roosevelt was diagnosed with poliomyelitis, which led him to being paralyzed, what do you think was going through his mind? Most human beings will think that their life is over. Many people will think of ending their own lives. Some would lose their self-esteem and keep their head down forever. But no, Roosevelt went on to become the most powerful person in the world by becoming the President of the United States. Sometimes life is going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. When Albert Einstein was rejected by the scientific community because they think he didn't know what he was doing, what do you think was going through his mind? Most humans would believe that their critics were right. Most people would start doubting their capacities as scientists. Many would drop science and go get other jobs. When Einstein couldn't find a job for 2 long years, and when he was being passed over for promotion, most people would just have ended it there. But this man became one of the most influential scientists the world has ever seen. Sometimes life is going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. No matter what you're going through right now, don't lose faith. You started a few businesses and always failing? Don't lose faith. You're depressed because you hate your job? Don't lose faith. You find yourself in a terrible relationship or even a divorce? Don't ever lose faith. Stand up. Stand tall. Move. Keep on moving.